when the Oak Ridge Homeowners Association proudly announced the completion of its 156-home development. It was supposed to mark the beginning of a thriving new community. Families moved in, lawns were trimmed, and the HOA board quickly established its rules and dues. But what no one realized was that the land they had built on carried a history that stretched back over a century and belonged to someone who had never given it up. That man was Elijah Carter, a quiet, elderly, black farmer who lived in a modest home just beyond the gates of the new subdivision. To most residents, he seemed like an unbothered neighbor who kept to himself. But when the HOA attempted to claim an unused parcel of land beside his property, Elijah revealed something that froze them in their tracks. More than 100 years ago, Elijah's grandfather, a freedman named Samuel Carter, had purchased the land after years of backbreaking labor. Knowing the risks of fraud and theft that black families faced at the time, Samuel had carefully placed a clause in the original deed. The clause stated that while the land could be leased or developed, ownership would always revert to his bloodline if certain conditions were ignored. Generations of Carters had quietly maintained taxes on the property, paying every year, even when it strained them financially. Elijah, as the last surviving heir, had kept that tradition alive. When the HOA filed paperwork to assert rights over Elijah's portion, lawyers began digging into county records. To their shock, the Carter deed surfaced with that unusual clause still legally binding. It meant that not only was Elijah the rightful owner of his lot, but every inch of the development technically sat on contested land. In their rush to build, the developers had never fully cleared the title. The HOA board panicked. 156 homeowners could lose their properties overnight. Some grew angry, others fearful, but Elijah remained calm. "I'm not here to take homes away," Elijah told them at an emergency meeting. "But this land carries my family's blood, sweat, and history. For 100 years, we've safeguarded it. That's something no paper can erase." After weeks of tense negotiations, Elijah agreed to lease the land back to the HOA under terms that guaranteed his family a share of the profits from every home sold. What began as a bitter standoff turned into a powerful lesson for the entire community about respect, legacy, and resilience. In the end, the residents of Oak Ridge learned that their neighborhood was built not just on bricks and wood, but on the unshakable foundation of one family's determination to protect what was theirs. And Elijah Carter walked away not only vindicated but honored, as the man who turned his grandfather's foresight into justice a century later.